Hey, looky here. It's the Pat and JT podcast.
Pat and JT podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pat and JT.
This looks a little different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
What? This looks a little different. Now, before we get going, one thing we have to do, before we get going, I got to give the thumbs up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow.
That is awesome.
I still jump every time they do that.
All right. So now we have to tell you where we are. If you haven't heard of Fowling Warehouse, Omaha, that's where we're at. They're closed on Mondays typically, so the whole place is empty right now. So before we get going, let's just go around the table and make some introductions. Also, we got the horn honker coming this way.
Here he comes.
The horn honker.
I'm Mark Wolf, partner with the Fowling Warehouse. Think of Fowling with an F, bowling with an F, Fowling Warehouse.
I know I will say that incorrect at some point today. I've been working this whole weekend trying to make sure that I don't say fouling.
Yeah. Well, we were taught to read correctly when we were young.
That is true.
F-O-W-L is fouling, but
right.
That
is very true.
That's why we put the long O on the.
Because it has nothing to do with birds.
Correct. We do have some chickens that come in and try it, but then they don't want to try it. So.
All right. And then our horn honker introductions. How you want to be introduced? Go right ahead.
I'm Dan Fishburne.
Partner.
You guys want to scoot up a little bit closer to your microphone?
Get on there. There you go. Lean on in, guys. Yeah.
Can you hear me
so
now?
Oh, yeah.
This is great. So we came up here because you guys are getting ready. You're open, but we're going to have the grand opening. We're having the celebrations. We're having all kinds of things going on this week in particular. And then things are going to get underway. And we thought, you know what? Let's just go up there because there's no way to explain this without just kind of being in the space. And so you can kind of see behind me what's going on. You can see behind them, there's a bar. Really cool looking bar. Pat's got more area behind him as well.
I mean, the first thing when I walked in here, it's like, holy cow, this thing is humongous.
Big as a football field.
Is it really?
Is it
We can
really?
say 50,000 square feet, but a lot of people can't understand how big that is. It's as big as a football field in here. Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So give us some background on first how you guys got together and then how this came to be.
Little League Baseball.
Yeah, we've been friends for a long time.
Awesome.
I broke his brother's thumb. Then we became close friends. Playing when I was a pitcher and he was a catcher.
Oh my God, no kidding.
Yeah. But in 2019, in my past life, we would do corporate outings and corporate events at places that couldn't hold our entire company. We would have multi-hundred company employees. And we found that we would have to peel off and not do true social networking, camaraderie, that sort of thing. Team building. Thank you very much. So in 2019, I started looking for businesses that were to bring to Omaha or start in Omaha. They had two criteria: simple and fun. And I researched and stumbled upon this Fowling Warehouse in Detroit, Michigan. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. So I reached out to a relative who lives in Detroit and I said, what do you know about this Fowling Warehouse? He goes, man, it is an awesome place. So I called the owner and we had a conversation. I asked, are you guys expanding? Do you want a franchise? And he says, as a matter of fact, we just completed our second store in Indianapolis. So I flew out there maybe a couple weeks later, and it was a Friday night. The place was packed. And as soon as I walked in, I thought, well, this could really make a splash in Omaha. People from all different walks of life coming together, high-fiving, smiling, laughing, just having a great time with a common goal of hitting a bowling pin with a football. And who would ever imagine such a thing, right?
Bring us
So I
all
was scratching
together.
my head and I'm like, are you guys sure this works? And they're like, you could see it works.
I mean,
We're
seriously,
folding
I would
it.
never have put those two together ever. And it sounds like a game that you would have grown up playing in your backyard with your friends.
You made
that
up
you
in your
loved.
back.
Yeah. That you made up in your backyard but loved. And it's much safer than throwing hatchets.
Yeah. I really think so.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, so when they started this game, who started the game?
It was actually founded in 2008 by two guys in Detroit. The two guys, they love the Indianapolis 500, and every year they would go to the Indy 500, and they would bring some sort of tailgate gizmo, a game or something. Well, one year in 2008, they brought a bowling setup. They brought a backstop and lanes and everything.
Real pins.
Pins. Well, the first throw, the ball went through the backdrop.
Real bowling ball.
I think 8-pounder, 10-pounder. Went through the backdrop, and you can imagine the damage it did when it was rolling through the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And some guy said, here, ding dongs, why don't you throw the football at those bowling pins? So in the 2008 recession, it was very hard on downtown Detroit. So they were with the manufacturing and that. So they took a risk, and they rented out a big building downtown Detroit for leaky roof, everything. The lights barely worked, and they took a chance on it, and it was full, a few weeks later. So they decided
still
to
open and doing great business today.
Yeah,
Oh my
10 years
God.
later, they decided to franchise.
Wow, that is, though, that's kind of interesting. That's similar, not exactly, but like pickleball. When it started, it was actually a family game that a family played.
Backyard game, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it was
that
a
right?
Oh, I
backyard
didn't know
game
that.
that somebody created so that all ages could play together, because playing tennis or badminton or, those others, you couldn't really play all together. And so that's how it got started.
That's interesting.
And then it evolved. It's like a lot of people have that. You've got that game that you play in the backyard that
We
nobody
played-
else understands the rules but
We
you.
played Midnight Murderer.
Midnight Murder.
Yeah.
Let's franchise that.
Yeah.
We'll get that.
I'll talk to you after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Capture the flag.
Yeah. Capture the flag.
Remember
So they did that, and no better place to bring a game with a football than Nebraska,
Right.
right? I mean, everybody's good at throwing a football in Nebraska, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we haven't had to teach anybody that part.
No, yeah, that's self-taught. Comes almost natural. Like
So
walking.
how does the game go? It's very similar to cornhole kind of too, because there's that throwing thing because you're aiming at a target.
It's,
But
it's really simple. You have two teams, 1-on-1 up to 5-on-5, two sets of pins, and you're just trying to knock the other guy's pins down before he knocks yours down. There's really no score other than all pins down.
I wonder if, okay, let me see. Am I plugged into anything here?
Oh.
Unplug. I don't want to unplug that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to move mine around so you can kind of see. Can you see that, Pat?
Yeah.
So if I turn on, can you make that picture bigger? And you can kind of
So
see one
demanding.
of the, I know I am.
Hold on. There you go.
Do this.
There
do
it
that.
is.
Okay. So back in there is one of them. And then now I'm going to go around this way.
Mhm.
Behind me, there's another one back there. And how many lanes are over here?
Well, we've got 10 altogether, 30 lanes in the building. So
And then
up to
back
300
here.
people could be doing the activity at the
And
same
then there's
time.
more over here, and then there's more behind Pat
That's huge.
as well too. 50,000 square feet.
50,000.
And
Wow.
explain the horn. Like what's the horn all about? Why is there a train horn in here?
If you are able to knock down the number 5 pin,
Which is
Smack
just
dab
like
in the
the
middle.
middle
Okay.
pin, the middle pin, completely off the pin deck, and all the other pins are left standing on your first throw, which is very difficult to do. That is called a bonk, and your reward is that you get to blow the bonk horn.
Bonk honk.
okay? That was a
honk,
bonk honk.
And
That's what it
it's
was.
it's such a
Bonk
big
honk.
deal. We write your name on the board because it only happens a few times a month.
I can't
yeah.
believe it happens that often.
Seriously, I was
Yeah,
thinking.
there'll be 6, depending on how many people are coming through at any given month. But in the other stores, that's a big social media post you might see if you just do a general Fowling warehouse search. They kind of show the monthly winners,
Mhm.
and the big hockey horn is your reward to get to blow it and scare everybody in the building.
So we just had somebody dropped in the chat. Lucy says hi, Dad.
Wow, hi Lucy
From Chicago?
From Chicago. Aren't
Wow.
you supposed to be working?
Did she take a PTO?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe almost lunch break.
Right,
Almost lunch
something
break,
like that.
right?
Could be.
Something
Lunch
that's
break.
awesome.
There you go.
So how many of these are? Go back to your bonks here real quick. How many of these have you seen so far? I mean, seriously.
A bonk?
Yeah.
I witnessed one in Indianapolis the
Did you
first time
really?
I was there.
Oh.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it. They went to the cameras and they get the
Show
cameras
instant
out on the
bonk
phone
replays,
and they
big deal.
verify it. You know, because a lot
Instant
of people,
replay.
they tend to bend the rules a little bit. So they went back, instant replay, and it was legit. They had the person come up to
That's
them,
hilarious. You go to the
blow the
you go to
horn,
the
and they
booth.
made a big announcement. We have a big PA system in here too, so we can announce it. We'll make a big deal.
So you
out
don't
of it.
just drop a bonk on people like the bonk horn. Like
no,
you let
yeah.
them know.
Oh yeah, we got to give them a heads up.
Okay, because that's
Oh,
legit loud.
I was getting
Attention
ready for it
Fowling
there.
customers.
Yeah. Yes. We have a bonk, everybody. So there's other alternatives too for uses of the space here. We kind of touched on that the other day. We were just kind of talking about some ideas, and I think Hurrdat should come out someday. And I think actually this Thursday we might be out this Thursday to see you guys
Our open
Okay.
house. Sure.
for part of the open house. Some of the people
Yes.
might be able to get out. And but what other things can people do in this space?
The philanthropy opportunities in here are endless. It is certainly a thing that we could clear the game out of one of the arenas, move it out. It's not bolted to the ground. There's no electricity going to the Fowling game. So you could clear that out and set up, round chairs and tables and have a charity banquet, with an auction and all that kind of stuff. You could have a Fowling tournament, which is what a lot of the other locations have done. Raise money for something, have sponsored teams. It's really kind of an event center with a game that we feature here, but other stores have had amateur boxing tournaments, wedding receptions, concerts.
Wedding reception would be fun.
endless.
I mean, really, look, they've got big screen TVs on those at the far wall.
Yeah.
There's 3 big screen TVs
Mhm.
or projection screens. Huge. I mean, like you can
hook up your laptop to any monitor. We call them monitors because that's what the tech guys told us they're supposed to be called, TVs. You can cast your laptop, so you could play video, spreadsheet, PowerPoint presentation, whether it's for, a slideshow for someone's bachelor party or a presentation for a big company meeting.
Mhm.
So we got a lot of technology capabilities in the building for things like that.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Love
So
it.
tell us what's coming up, because this is kind of a big week for you guys.
Yeah, Thursday is our corporate open house. Our grand opening is 10:30 Thursday morning. That will be instead of a traditional ribbon cutting, we're doing a ceremonial football toss
Of course.
on a pin deck.
Awesome.
And with the founders and Dan and I, there'll be 4 of us. And then starting at noon to 7 is for corporate and businesses. That's Thursday and Friday, noon to 7. And then on the weekend, come out and try the game for free. It is noon to 7 on Saturday and Sunday. Both
So
days.
you want to grab the family
Yeah.
or grab your friends.
Grab everyone.
This
Come
is the
on
time
in.
to come out and try it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Free.
Come on in and try it.
Okay. So what about food?
Bring your own food.
BYOF.
Oh, that's nice.
What?
We do not have a kitchen.
No.
Because we don't want to,
Mhm.
serve bad food. Bring,
You know what? The
Bring
first
what
thing-
you
the
like,
first thing
you
that
know?
popped in my head is that's a huge money saver for a family to just bring their own food or eat before they come.
Yeah.
Or grab a pizza
Yeah.
on the way.
literally crock pot full of chili. We'll plug it in for you.
That's awesome.
Or
I love it.
DoorDash or pizza.
Yeah.
We don't have any,
No
There's-
rules.
just
No
don't
rules.
bring any beverages. We'd like
Yeah,
to
beverages
provide
prohibited,
those.
sure.
Kind of have some rules to follow about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
And it looks
awesome.
like you got a complete lineup up
Yeah.
there.
I think so.
What's the mystery beer machine? Oh, okay.
So we have a $3, a $5, and a $7 increment on beers.
Okay.
You walk up to the bartender and you say, you know what? I'll take my shot on a $3 bill, beer, excuse me, with a $3 bill.
Yeah, right.
And you may get a PBR, you may get an Old Milwaukee, or you may get a Hams. One of those 3. You
that's
just don't
funny.
know.
That's a
The-
nice
the-
throwback.
Yeah, the
Mystery
$5
beer machine.
right. The $5 is the next level, if you will, in quality, and then the $7 is even higher than that. So you may get an
And
IPA.
I don't mind crappy
craft
beer,
beer.
so I would do that all day long.
You know,
I-
we've
For
been
your-
known to
for your
drink Hams.
close
out there.
friends.
Yeah.
Let me go get you a
Yeah.
Let me
mystery
get you a beer.
Yeah.
$3.
We got a round of mystery beers, guys.
Yeah, I love that.
Jump in.
It's a trademark.
That's fun.
Actually, it's a trademark symbol with the franchise group.
That's fantastic.
pretty
That's
cool.
a lot of fun.
So you got the bonk
Yeah.
and the mystery beer machine only at Fowling Warehouse.
That's the only place you can find
That
it.
is super fun.
And it's easy to find the place also.
We think so.
just
Yes.
north of 90th and 4th in the Baker Shopping Center.
3 blocks.
Yeah. It's-
We do have a couple rules.
Okay.
Just give everybody a heads up. Excuse me. Nobody 21 and over after 7 o'clock, 7
Okay.
p.m. And we really encourage 6 and over to do the Fowling. 6, and then it's parents' discretion. If a child is 6 years old, it's up to the parents' discretion whether or not they can actually try it.
Right. I can understand.
It's a 35-foot throw, and it's
Yeah.
not easy for many adults.
Yeah.
So it's even more challenging for kids. And that way we protect them. They're not coming in here getting injured and trying to throw too hard to ruin the arm. And that
Maybe
sort of
bring
thing.
the 6-year-old with a screen.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can sit and eat your
Absolutely.
food
Uh-huh.
that you brought with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And watch
Right.
the adults
Have a
play.
picnic, indoor picnic in January.
Yes. Well, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So again, at 90th and Fort, just northeast corner, 90th and Fort, Baker's, you can't miss it.
Plaza North Shopping
Yeah.
Center.
And very easy to find. So this weekend would be the big one to come out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Try it for free.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And otherwise,
fun.
what does it cost for people to come out to do it on the regular? Is there family rates? Is there group rates? Do you just kind
Yeah,
of
for-
hourly? How do
For
you do
groups, for groups under 4, we have an option called Open Play, which is $15 per person. And on that given day, you can come in and stay all day and play all you want. And then I'll let Mark talk about for larger groups.
Sure.
What that option
That's
is.
great.
Our large groups over 4, we highly recommend reserving a lane, and a lane can accommodate up to 10 people. That's $75 an hour, a minimum of 2 hours. So if you really
Easy.
do the breakdown, you can
Yeah.
have 10 people on a lane at $75 an hour. It comes out to $7.50 per
That's a
person.
good deal.
That's
So
a
the
heck of a deal.
more value there is.
Yeah.
Also back to the corporate side, we're the only place that we really believe in Omaha where we can put 300 to 400 people in a meeting space, a dedicated 5,000 square foot meeting space. And you can literally turn around and actually do the activity. So everybody's together. We had a group activity or a group come out here last week, a company here in Omaha, 120 employees, and they were literally in a 100-foot by 50-foot area. And it was great to see. They were high-fiving and laughing and smiling, and people were getting to know each other they didn't know before because
Yeah.
it was a large company.
Yeah.
So
Remote workers, not everybody works in Nebraska.
Good point.
Got them
Yeah.
together. They
Yeah.
did their own inter-office tournament. We were really impressed. They had their own brackets ready to go. They did a 3-on-3 tournament.
pretty impressive.
Totally understand that. We
Yeah.
just got through doing a table tennis tournament at the office.
Yeah.
You know, if
boy.
you don't play,
Oh,
yeah,
It got
That
rowdy.
could go quick.
It got
Yeah.
rowdy. Yeah.
it got rowdy though. It did. It got
Yeah.
really loud. But this, I can imagine, very competitive group. It might be kind of fun to
Yeah.
bring them
Yeah.
down
it
here,
would be
right?
fun. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
having us
you.
out.
Thanks for
This has
coming
been a
out.
blast.
Yeah, appreciate
And
it.
we will see you this week.
all right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Sounds great.
You
Thanks,
bet.
guys. And
Bye,
thank you
Omaha.
guys for watching and listening. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
Thanks for the support. Have a great one,
Awesome.
guys. See ya.
Bye.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.